to see the wrong guy. I wish it was you, but you don't even bat an eye. I've been thinking what's wrong with me, 'cause I'm feeling things that we should both feel. I don't wanna let you go. I'm keeping you close, but you're pushing yourself away. When I needed you to stay, told you to call me when you get home, but you don't pick up. Feels like I'm getting overthrown by someone you used to know. I think you better call Tyrone. I apply pressure to storm the weather so we could be forever. But whatever, it's just a little rain, I can't complain. But my heart feels away. Just me and my thoughts each day.
Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome or welcome back. Today it's Saturday, it's very gloomy and rainy, so maybe we ran out of light quite quickly. But anyway, I wanted to flip through my finished insert. This is my second finished insert for this year. The first one went from, I believe, June to August, and this one was September until now. So I think it's the 25th, October 25th now. So yeah, just about like a month and a half. I think this insert is around 60 pages, so it sounds, it's about right. 2 months or a month and a half. The other one that I had was 120 or 160 pages, so this one I went through much faster. And on the first part of the video, I wanted to show you how I set up my new insert, which I chose the Blackwing and Travelers Company collaboration insert, which has a much more texture paper, I want to say. Fountain pen writes here wonderful, but yeah, it's very beautiful anyway, but it's much more texture. So I've noticed that when I use a gold nib rather than a steel nib, it feels more like writing with a mechanical pencil or something. I don't know, it has a lot of feedback. So I've been preferring to write with my Travelers Company fountain pen and my Kaweco brass here, just because of that texture that it has. But anyway, I really enjoy the look of it. And I did decorate the pages. I used Hobonichi packaging to make a pocket, and then I have on here some things that I glued down to just give it some color and decoration to the whole thing. And then at the back I just have some decoration from Happy Mail and a picture of Pungopang that I was eating one day, and I had it somewhere and I saw it the other day and I was like, okay, I'm just going to use that picture here. So anyway, you can see, you saw that at the beginning of the video. And now we're going to flip very quickly through September because I have a video about that. And we're going to just focus on October so far. Oops. I did my August reflections, and at the beginning of the month, I like to do this type of reflections of the prior month. I also have here a whole thing about my personal syllabus, which I have discussed also on Patreon. But anyway, I chose the diary, studying like diary as a literature form for my personal syllabus. So I have on here my first draft that I thought, and some of the books that I wanted to check out, and some extra things that I found that I knew I was not going to get, didn't have time to get really into them, but I wanted to make a note that this extra reading like Anais Nin or Adrienne Rich were some of the authors that I wanted to check out. Got my wisdom tooth out. I read a lot during these few months. I think I have some pictures that I cannot show on here because, yeah, it's my friend's face. I have a whole 2 pages of notes about scaffolding. And one of the difference between my journal and my commonplace, and when I choose to write books or about books in my journal versus my commonplace, is when I really don't have much to say about the book, just the quotes. Like if I love the quotes and I love the book, but I'm not going to do any further research about that book or about that author or some of the topics, I will just write my favorite quotes on my book, in my journal, sorry. And I don't know why I do it like that. It's just my brain works like that. I think you guys saw all of these pages. I went to a jazz bar and loved it. Okay, and here we start with October. So these are my September thoughts. And I usually answer what went well, what I want to be more mindful of. So usually negative things that I've been, or negative patterns that I've been following the whole month, but I don't want to frame it so negatively. So I usually just say things that I want to be more mindful of. What I discovered that month, it could be anything. It could be like a new drink, or it could be music, whatever it is. And what I want to focus, usually some goals. Yeah, my tarot. Here I went to an exhibition, and in my journal I only printed some pictures out, but in my commonplace here I have like much more information about that and some other extra pictures from the exhibit itself. Here's just more like a memory that we went. And again, here I was thinking about Louis Carmen and Paper Republic. And I think what I love about those notebooks is just maybe that they are a little bit wider, so when you want to feature a postcard like this one, it is not so tight and it looks like it has more room to breathe. Again, because my traveler's notebook system is based on blank notebooks, I am okay with just switching in between sizes, or even if I want to carry this size to another notebook like this, which is an A5 slim, essentially I could just make it work. But anyway, it's just something that I've been visually very attracted to, like the bigger size, the bigger space. But because I bought so many new inserts this year from Traveler's Notebook when I went to Japan, I want to stick with this size until I really feel like, okay, now I want to change, because it's been months and months. So now I want to switch it up. And instead of going to an A6, maybe I go to an A5 slim, but we don't know. Same here, Paper Republic. Okay, I need to cover this because we went to the emergency room. My partner had a huge allergic reaction to, is it called penicillin? Yeah, the antibiotic. He had a huge reaction to the medicine he was taking, and yeah, we spent the whole night there. But anyway, he's fine now. He's waiting for his test results. And here's when I finished Morning Breast by Sai Sai and started right after Madonna in a Fur Coat. Oh, here is when we celebrated Chuseok. So this was my first time that I saw like a traditional table, and we went very early in the morning to do the paying respects or bowing to the ancestors. So it was very interesting for me because in Spain we don't do anything similar to that, I would say, or at least my family doesn't. So it was very interesting for me to be involved in that kind of very structured tradition. And next day I went with my friends to I went to my friend's house, and her husband is a chef and baker, and he made us some madeleines and they were wonderful. And then I read Exteriors by Annie Ernaux. I get confused about the things that I've actually talked about or not, but forgive me if I have talked about it before. I didn't love it. It is a collection of journal entries that span several years. I can't remember the years. But anyway, it is about trying to grasp what makes community. So Annie Ernaux moves to a very newish city, and it doesn't have a huge history, so she's trying to gather and see how other people behave to see what makes a community. So she writes everything that she overhears when she's at the hairdresser or at the mall, and everything that she observes, she's trying to write down. And I like that part, but I wish there was more of her own take on it after the fact. Like, she doesn't really go into her theory about the information that she has gathered, which I hoped she would. But anyway, a lot of quotes these few months. Like, I have a lot of quotes everywhere. This is when we went to another exhibition on here, and I haven't journaled about it yet, or my commonplace. I just printed some pictures here to have that memory. And then my friends and I went to the what is this called? Gentle Monster store, the eyewear store, and they have a huge Bratz, which I'm all about it because I grew up with the Bratz rather than the Barbies, and I had a huge collection of Bratz, and she is huge. And we also did an AI Bratz of ourselves kind of thing. The girl told us to do it, and it was very uncomfortable because everyone was looking at us, but it was fun. And we found a photo booth, of course, and this one is a DJ one. Finish It Goes in the Throat, another book about motherhood and writing and creating. Very, very interesting. Then on here, so one of my favorite artists is Spanish artist. She is Rosalia, and I just love her artist point of view, like how well thought out everything is that she produces. And this album is called Lux, which can mean like light in Latin or love also. I think she posted lux equals love, but also it means light in Latin anyway. And everyone is speculating about it, and I thought it was very fun, so I just made a note of that. I'm really obsessed with the replica perfumes. By the Fireplace is just my favorite perfume they have. I love amber or wood or vanilla smells. Those are my favorite. I don't really like florals, so I just adore these perfume, and every time we go to the store I always grab one of their little samples there. And these are the books that I took from the library, and I think it was 4, no? Maybe 3. Screen Test by Zambrano. Is it Kate Zambrano? Girlhood by Melissa Febos, and Checkout 19 by Clara Louise Bennett. And I bought Barbara Kingsolver's Demon Copperhead. A very bookish month, I think. And here I spent a long time at a cafe, and I was just wondering what would I include if I had a new setup. And basically the same, my journal, my commonplace. And I've been really thinking about making a whole insert of lists. So I have lots of lists everywhere, and some of them I want to keep longer than just an insert. So the problem is when I have a list here, it's just I cannot bring it to another notebook if I don't write everything down again. So I've been using like pieces of paper that I have everywhere to make little lists, like to research, and I just bring them from notebook to notebook. But some of them I found like I would like to know what my interests were at that time. So for example, what I wanted to research at that time, and had the list there and see how my interests change. So I was thinking about dedicating a whole insert to just lists, but I feel like this type of insert is a bit too thick for that. So I haven't yet figured out how I want to do it, but it's something that I've been thinking a lot, because this month I have included a lot of lists in my commonplace notebook, like my favorite coffee shops, my friends' coffee orders and preference. Then also, what else? Things that I wanted but I didn't buy, which is bringing me a lot of satisfaction these days. So I think I want to have those lists somewhere, but I haven't yet set that up. So anyway, yeah, friends' birthdays, gift ideas, for example. So I have here some of those things that I had fun thinking about it. And then I read The Anthropologist by Sabas. I really liked it. It is a book that I feel like anyone can enjoy it, but especially if you are an immigrant like me, someone that has emigrated from their home country. There is a lot to relate in this book, because it deals with a couple that are both immigrants. The book really tries to hide which city they have emigrated to, which I found a little bit annoying, because it was very clearly a French city and probably Paris. But I think the idea was so all immigrants that read this book can relate to the experience, and it's not only based or about Paris. But I thought it was unnecessary, because the overarching feeling is that someone that has chosen, and this is very important, this is in someone that has chosen freely to leave their home country, and it's now living somewhere else, and there is a lot of guilt that they feel and I feel, because you just chose to move from your country and from for some family members, especially, you know, parents, sometimes it can be quite hard to understand, especially if you have a good relationship with them, like I do. It is very difficult for them to understand what is motivating you to stay so far away from home, and how we really try to create this sense of routine and rituals to find comfort when everything is foreign to us. Because we also have lost that when I have a call with my parents and my family, or when they visited or friends visit, I feel like, oh, now there is a huge distance between us. So I know when I go to Spain, I just don't feel 100% like I find my place, because there's no routine for me there anymore. And here, of course, I have my routine as my daily life, but also you cannot really insert yourself fully within the country. So it's a very uncomfortable position to be in all the time, and it makes you think about, oh well, this is what you've chosen, right? No one is forcing you to do it. You've chosen this. And I think one of the things that I really liked about this book is when both the couple, so both the man and woman, both of them are immigrants, and they come also from separate countries, so they are not from the same country. And when they discuss and talk about things with their family, they really notice that contrast anymore. And the guilt, it's so overwhelming. I really enjoyed it. It's a very quiet book. Nothing really happens. It's just a daily life of a couple that lives in a foreign country, and they are not dealing with racism or and things like that. They're just dealing with, what does it mean for me to live here now and having left my home voluntarily? And it's just a very strange position to be in, and quite overwhelming sometimes. And I wrote a love letter for October on Patreon, which is free to access. So I just wrote, during the whole month, I had like things that I really wanted to talk about. And this is my full reading, some of the books that I have read during fall so far. And yeah, that's it. Nothing else. So this has been a good insert for me. I really enjoyed it. The paper is great. This is MD paper. Kind of sad to see it go a bit faster than I would have wanted to, but at the same time, I like the sense of renewal that inserts give me. I know that some people want to spend a longer time with their diaries, and I understand that feeling too. Sometimes when I feel very comfortable, I want to stay longer here, but also I really do appreciate the opportunity to just move on, because if you read the love letter, October has not been a very easy month for me. Very, very rocky, like emotionally rocky this month. And a lot of the things happened within the first 2 weeks, or my very uncomfortable feelings happened during the beginning of the month. So now I'm happy to see it just go and start with the new insert kind of fresh, with a fresh look, which also is very welcomed. And we are approaching the end of the month, which would mean for me to change the cover too. So almost everything matched, and my commonplace is also almost done. Not many pages left, maybe like 2 entries if they're long entries, 2 entries or 3. And I have a few things that I want to already write about here. And I will do I don't know, should I do another flip through of this? Maybe just a kind of a small catch up and setup of my new commonplace, which I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if it's going to be an A5, like full A5, or it's going to still be an A5 narrow. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is the insert for this couple of months, and I really enjoy this system. Like when I look at it, I really enjoy it. Sometimes I crave a little bit bigger size, or not bigger, wider, I'd say, but I just really love it anyway. So yeah, that's all for today, guys, and I'll see you soon.